Good morning, virtual book clubbers. How's everybody doing today? We continue to read from the book Simple Abundance, and we are on the January 22nd entry. It says, "Woman must be the pioneer in this turning inward for strength. In a sense, she has always been a pioneer." Written by Anne Moreau Lindenberg. These are challenging times in which to live. We are not the only generation of women to have known difficult days. It is comforting to realize that others before us have persevered and prospered. During the dark days of the Depression, an editorial in the October 1932 issue of Ladies' Home Journal encouraged readers to remember that the return of good times is not wholly a matter of money. There's prosperity of living, which is quite as important as prosperity of the pocketbook. But the magazine stressed that it is not enough to be willing to make the best of things as they are. Resignation will get us nowhere. We must build what amounts to a new country. We must revive the ideals of the founders. We must learn the new values of money. It is a time for pioneering, to create a new security for the home and family. Where we are specialists in spending, we are becoming specialists in living. I remember the exact moment when I found that quote. I was mining my acre of diamonds, seated on the floor in an antique shop, perusing women's periodicals from the past for hints of how to live successfully today. I had been on a simple abundance path for a year and felt like a pioneer. In fact, I felt exactly like the woman who had packed up her family and all of her worldly possessions in Boston to start across the country in a covered wagon in search of the promised land. For 2,000 miles I had kept the dream of a better life alive, while enduring Indian attack, epidemics, droughts, blizzards, tornadoes, snakes, and salted beef. By this time, I was in Nebraska territory with 1,000 more miles to go, but I had come too far to turn back. Like that pioneer woman, I was discouraged. When I found that magazine, I immediately embraced it as a telegraph message to my soul. Keep going, don't stop. You're on the right path and you're not alone. From that moment, I never looked back. I learned firsthand that the simple abundance path has the power to transform lives. Are you ready to become a pioneer? Then it's time to invest your soul with all the creative energy at your disposal. Think of me as your scout, your personal pathfinder. These past few years, I've gone ahead, cleared the brush from the trail. This much I will tell you at the outset. The path spirals and takes time. It will take us a year, but it is comforting and nurturing. It can also be an undertaking only one day at a time. But don't be afraid, you are not alone. Like pioneers on the trail, we will learn to live by our own light and the stars of heaven, for that's all we need. There's no obstacle that true grit and amazing grace cannot overcome. What did you think of today's reading? I think it's interesting because, this book was written, I think, let's see here. I think in the early 90s. Yep, 1995. So it's so interesting how this book is so relevant for today, going through this worldwide pandemic, and really people are having to take stock of their life and what's important. We kind of were forced to do that, right? Lots of us losing our jobs, our sense of income, our sense of security. But how do we take that time that we were given to really think about what was important to us and how we were going to move forward? Don't get me wrong. I know that so many of the people out there are just wanting to get back to normal. But there is no normal. There will never be a normal again. Not in the sense that you perceive normal to be. We get to create a new world. Was the old world really working for us? Let's be honest. We think it was, but when we've had the time to sit and be home, free from all of the outside influences, what have we come to realize that wasn't working in our lives? And how do we get to co-create a new world that is not only good for our house, our family, but everyone? So tell me what you think. What have you come to mind, pioneer during this pandemic? Some aha moments for you. What wasn't working in your old life that you were doing that now, as the world starts opening up again, what will you do differently? Because the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So are you going to go on the path of insanity, or are you going to go on the path of being a pioneer and mining your acre of diamonds and creating not only simple abundance, but financial serenity? All right, leave your comments below. I look forward to hearing them, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.